But anyway, now I'm getting off really into whatever and not even talking about this drama anymore. So I need to stop. I need to stop rambling. I'm just trying to get all of this. I literally just finished it. And then it's the minute everything went quiet. I'm trying to process, okay? This is me processing when my head is exploding because I literally just finished this drama. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Come on the journey with me. I'll clip this and put it at the beginning and that'll be your introduction to the video. What do you think? Have you ever heard of this drama? Hello and thanks for clicking on this video. This is a review on a drama. Probably nobody will watch this video, but I'll go ahead and make it anyway, because I have a very important question to ask when it comes to storytelling. The Spirealm. Personally, the further I went in this drama, the stupider I think that name is, because, like, if it's supposed to be pronounced Spirealm, because it's supposed to refer to spirit realm, you should have written it differently, because when you write that in English, we automatically assume it's pronounced Spirealm, and that makes no sense. That's the dumbest name I've ever heard. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. Kaleidoscope of Death makes way more sense, even though, like, anyway. Spirealm is a dumb name, but that's the drama I'm talking about. And for most of the drama, I only had 4 things that I was thinking about that, and then we got to the end, which is where my question comes into it. Okay, my only problems with this drama, up until way closer to the end, was what door are we on? I am so confused. There had to be a better way to refer to the doors. It was so confusing, and I swear it's not just me, because we went, like, there was the door number 1, and the door number 5, and the door number 12, etc. I swear, there was the. But then there was also how many times this person has personally gone through a door by choice, and how many times they've gone through the door by force. And I swear even that wasn't quite consistent. And we went from following which door Ling Jushu had gone through. We were counting doors via him. I'd have to go back to check this, but I swear we were counting doors via him. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for no reason whatsoever, we switched over to counting doors via Zhao Zhao. I'm like, either one would have been fine, but why did we all of a sudden switch in the middle? I am, like, literally so confused. And then it didn't help that they were constantly lying about how many doors they'd been through when they went into the doors, because they're hiding real information from other people so that nobody uses it against them. So, like, I completely lost count. The only one that they kept going back to was that Lanja had passed 10 doors. And I'm guessing that's 10 of the doors. But he personally has been through way more than that. How many? We never know, because he's constantly lying about the actual number. It's just over 10. But you know there's over 10 because he helps other people through the door. And there was once that he went into a door that we didn't go into a door with him with. So, like, how many doors have each of them actually been through? The only one you could possibly actually count was, I keep forgetting his name for some reason, and I covered it up on the screen. My goodness, this is not editing, I guess, or leave it raw. Jushu, Ling Jushu, Ling Ling. Call him Ling Ling. Why am I not just calling him Ling Ling? That's his nickname in the drama. Ling Ling. The only one you could possibly know for sure how many doors he's been through is Ling Ling, because I think, as far as I know, we go through every door that he goes through with him. So he's the only one we have an accurate count on. And maybe Zhao Zhao. Yes, probably Zhao Zhao too. But I can't remember. I got so lost on what doors, and, like, there had to be a better way to do it. And yet, it was literally so confusing. I was thoroughly confused by not even halfway through the drama. I was so confused I gave up. So confused. And, I mean, I didn't write it down, but, oh yeah, by the way, I don't know why. Well, they're on screen. Eventually, I finally figured it out, but, like, Zhao Zhao and Ryu Jiao are so hard to keep apart. Like, I even see pictures of them, I'm like, wait, which one is that? They don't look that much alike, and yet, for some reason, they look enough alike that I was confused. But then, yeah, nobody can convince me that the first door was actually a low-level door. Nobody can convince me of this. The first door they go into, that is one of the ones that they specify, this is the first door of the game. Therefore, it should be like the lowest level. I think they said that it was one of the lowest possible levels. I think, if I remember correctly, they specified that it was a low-level door because it's literally the first door. The further you go, the harder the doors get. And yet, nobody can convince me that that was actually a low-level door. Why do I say this? One, it's, small spoilers, it's the only door where the key got yoinked out of their hand while they were in the middle of opening the door. In every other story, every other door, they had issues getting to the key in the first place, and then getting to the door with the key. That is the first one where it's like literally they're in the middle of opening the door and they drop it and yoink, it's gone. And I'm like, I'm not even sure, was that her hair that yoinked it? Was she actually the one that took it? How did it just disappear like that? Where did it go? I'm so confused. Because if she was actually there and took the key, then where was she when all of a sudden they went like down the tunnel and stuff? Where was she if she's the one that took the key back? That was, okay, what? That's the only time that happened. And even more so, it's the taboos. Because in basically every other door, was there even another door where there was actually 3 taboos? I'm pretty sure there was doors where there's 2 taboos. Most doors, I feel like most doors pretty much only had 1 taboo. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Am I this smart? Or are you guys this stupid? I swear the more information they had when they went in the door, the dumber they were when they went in the door. They pretty much told me, these are the rules. And yes, I know they're not positive they're exactly the same when they go in the door, but still, it should be close enough. Like, especially the one with the egg. I'm sorry, but it took them way too long to figure out that taboo. Like, as soon as they entered that door and introduced the setting, I knew what the taboo was, and yet it took them forever to figure it out. I'm like, how can you be this stupid? That doesn't make sense. But the first one, the very first one, there was like, was it 3 or was it 4 taboos? And I think they said what it was based on, what made the taboos, and it must be a very specifically Chinese poem or rhyme or something, because I did not even remotely understand that. How on earth could anybody figure out that taboo without somebody dying because of it? Like, I don't understand how anybody could possibly figure it out without somebody dying. In every other one, you should not have had to have somebody die before you could be like 90% positive that this was a taboo. But in that first lowest level, what? Those taboos were not low-level taboos. That was, the further I got in the drama, the more I was like, that first door was not a low-level door. What the crap? And yeah, so then there was one point where, like, way later during another door, Lanju says, like, basically paraphrasing, but basically, you can't break the rules. Nobody gets away with breaking the rules, and they don't live if you actually break the rules. And yet, he did, though. Literally, he made a point in one of those ones of literally breaking the rule. I won't tell you which one he did it, but he literally breaks the rule on purpose to make a point. Not that you can break a rule and get away with it. He was making a completely unrelated point. But he broke the rule doing it, and literally nobody does anything to him as a result. He literally gets away with breaking the rule. He breaks it. He broke the taboo, and nothing happened to him. Like, okay. And, I just remembered something else and now I forgot it. What was the other thing? There was something else that was actually a bit of a... Now I forget what it is, sorry. Okay, the other thing that I wrote down was, what the heck with the Ran Baiju versus Lee Dongyan? Like, the picture was brought up and all the rest of this kind of stuff. That was introduced so badly. I was so confused where that came from, why I was the only one not understanding that. I didn't get it until I randomly, like when on my drama list looking up the Spirealm, randomly it like suggested this article, and like usually I don't pay too much attention to all the articles because I'm not really there for most of that kind of stuff, but that one I actually glimpsed what the article was, so I went and actually skimmed through it, and that is where I got some of the information I'm going to talk about in a minute, but that is also where I finally figured out what that reference was. It's like central thing that is happening within the drama for a little while there. It very, very heavily affects the characters and what they're doing and their interactions and stuff. And yet, what it boils down to is, if you'd read the book, you'd know. That's pure and simple, that's it. If you'd read the book, you'd know. But in the drama, they explain absolutely nothing. They introduce it and give it to you like I, the viewer, am supposed to know what the heck is going on, because literally everybody in the drama knows what's going on. But literally nobody explains it until way later. And then still, even when they explain it, where the crap did that picture come from? That picture, like, they introduced it like as if I saw it in the drama. Like, this actually happened in the drama. And it didn't. So, it happened in the book, apparently. That is a book. That is directly from the book. It didn't happen like that in the drama. It happened like that in the book. So they took a picture out of the book, instead of out of the drama, and based the drama on it. And like, that's... Okay, anyway. Those were my biggest whatever. Apart from those, this drama was actually really well done. It doesn't surprise me to find out that the books are way gorier than the drama. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest to find that out, because like the stories that the drama is based on, it's gory enough for me. It's like horror enough for me. I personally do not like horror. This one, I would say, is like, you have to be at least 16, and personally, for some of the parts, for some of this drama, I'd put it higher than 16. I'd put it 18 plus. That's me. That, parts of it. Most of it, I guess, is probably more like 16 plus. But, yeah, I'm not surprised to find out the book is gorier. But it was like, very decently done, all things considered. And you know that there's censorship for certain things and whatnot and whatnot. It was not that bad done. However, my big problem and my big question: what do you do when you're taking from source material, but you're not allowed to give the audience the actual source material? Because of censorship, you have to change the story. You have to change the story in order to get past censorship. Censorship of various different things. Not just the two main characters' relationship. Okay, what do you do? My big question is, I am somebody that, like, you know, when you take it from a book and you make it into a drama or a movie, I am big on staying as faithful as possible to the book. You gotta stay faithful to the original story. Otherwise, you can't say based on. You can maybe say inspired by, like, I don't know. But, like, if you're gonna base it on a book, like, I hate it when, like, the more you deviate from the books, the more I end up hating your drama or movie if I've read the books, because I just can't. Especially if I absolutely love the book, and you change key concepts and key, like, if you change characters' personalities and you change whatever, I hate it. You have to stay faithful to the book. It's not right if you don't. However, if you cannot get around changing the story, otherwise you can't make it into a movie or show. One, should you then make it into a movie or show, or should you just leave it as the book? If you can't make the book into a drama or movie, should you even bother trying? Because basically every time they try, they end up like this. Some of them are way closer and it still works way better. Other ones, this one, it was mostly really good until censorship mixed with trying to stay close to the book, which resulted in a completely nonsensical and chaotically confusing mess. That was also one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. And this is where spoilers, so if you haven't seen the drama and you want to go enjoy it, because up to a certain point it's worth it. It was basically when the last door was starting. In the midst of the last door, all the way through to the end of the drama is not even worth it. There was a couple of places in this drama where I almost cried because I couldn't believe it. He took that long before you started doing that, and it made sense that that would happen, but why did you take so long to do it? And then those people of all people, I'm like, my gosh. Into the spoilers now. 3 people. 2 of them made me almost cry. One of them, I didn't bother because by that point, it was far too nonsensical, far too chaotically confusing. I didn't cry with that one because it wasn't working anymore. It was not working anymore. Therefore, I couldn't get emotional and I couldn't cry. And then, like, it just got worse and worse. Because the thing is, the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, like, ever, is the fact, like, whatever they were saying in the original book, all I know is the very little bit that the people that wrote that article were talking about. But it sounds like, at least in the book, it worked because he had an actual idea and he went with it. And then that idea got censored and turned into a game. And because it's a game, here's my big problem. Lanju, massive spoiler, Lanju is not alive. He is not human. He is not real. He is literally just a program. And yet, Jushu is so infatuated with him and cares so much about him and loves him so much, and he's so special to him and they have such a bond because he's so real to him, because the virtual reality is so real, that he literally says more than once, all of those real, actual human beings who are actually dying because of this game, oh well, they're a bunch of strangers. I don't know them, so I don't care about them. They're just strangers, so I don't care. Those people that you don't care about are the actual, real human beings. Lanju is not real. He is literally a computer program that you yourself say, give me the data about you and I can easily recreate you even if you get erased. He even admits that he can do that. And I don't really care that in the drama it took him 50 years in order to do it. He did it. And that is also messed up because that means he literally threw away 50 years of the real world reality in order to get back fake programs, because virtual reality program that is not real, it's literally all in his head, is more precious and important to him than real, living, breathing, heart-beating human beings. That is beyond disgusting. Incredibly disturbing and incredibly disgusting. And that is what we ended up with because of censorship. There had to be, and I guarantee you there was, a better way to do this story. But because they were trying to stay faithful to the book, but weren't allowed to, and yet insisted when they weren't allowed to, it created a disgusting, confusing, nonsensical mess. And that's my question. How far should you go when you're trying to make a book into a movie that censorship won't let you? But you insist on trying anyway. And you end up with a mess like this. Is this legitimate? Is this good? Should this continue to happen? Because it keeps happening. Or should they stop it? Should they maybe just, like, I'd almost prefer a fade to black and words come up on the screen. Go read the book, because we can't give you a satisfactory ending. Even though I can't get a hold of the book, I'd kind of even prefer that over them giving me crap like what this drama gave me in the end. I just had to get all that off my chest. I'm sure there's a better way I could have put it, but you know what? Probably nobody will watch this video anyway, so who cares? I don't... Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get... I don't know. I just wanted to say all that. Now that I said all that, maybe I'll edit and do something else different later. But that's what I've got for now, just so I can get it off my chest because I finally finished this drama. I actually watched the end of the drama before starting it because I had a feeling it would have a crappy ending, but I just couldn't tell how bad. And then I watched the ending and I knew. But somehow, as prepared as I get, because I skipped through the very last episode and realized that it has a crappy ending, somehow I still never quite capture the entirety of how crappy until I get there. And this ending was literally 500 times, if not 1,000 times worse than I was expecting it to be, because I did not realize that they were going to tell me that Lanju was not even real to begin with. You see, here's part of the problem. The way they set it up, actually, when it comes to terms of stories and whatever, the way they set it up, when they dropped the bomb that he is actually just an NPC and not real, actually, that was actually pretty well done, and it actually makes sense, apart from the fact that means, yeah, even him being an obsidian, when Lanju comes out of the door and is actually Lanju, like, the entirety of literally everything we saw has to be within the game. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense that this NPC can come into reality, because virtual whatever, even if the people that are playing the game are hallucinating, everybody else on the street wouldn't see him. And even if you're all hallucinating, I don't think you could hallucinate to the level of, like, literally everybody knowing the exact same person and interacting with, like, it's not possible to go as far as that. So, like, yeah, the only reason it worked is because the entire thing, literally the entire thing, was not even a game. It was literally a dream. Which actually makes it even worse. He's not even, like, he literally had a dream about a game and got so attached to the dream about the game that he went and made the game instead of living in reality. I was gonna say I thought it made it better, but you know what? That makes it even worse. The game wasn't even real. He had a dream. He had a dream. And it turns out even the original whatever, his friend that made the game, in reality, didn't go and make a game. Oh, you know what? I'm making it even worse. I should stop talking. I'm thinking about it and this is making it even worse. Oh my gosh. I'm making it worse. I need to stop. It was such a bad ending. It's one of the worst endings I've ever seen of any drama anywhere ever. It's literally one of the worst endings I've ever seen. Of all the bad endings I've seen. That is frequently more what happens as a character dies that doesn't die in the book. Or it's like, whatever. But the point is, this one's even worse because, like, and you could have done something really interesting with that if you'd made it actually. Take away the fact that it's just, because, oh my gosh, the layers of insanity going on here. You know what? I have no words left. This is getting worse and worse the longer I talk about it. We'll just stop here. Most likely nobody will even watch this one, so there you go. The fascination of this is what happens when, like, why did you even try to make this into a show? Somebody in that, I think it was in that article I read that said that they did a pretty decent job considering all the loops and hoops they had to jump through to get past censorship. You know what? I kind of disagree. I haven't read the book. And I never will, because there's probably not an English adaptation and whatever. I don't want to. That type of book, I'm not interested. But, no, actually. I've seen other ones that had to jump through loops and hoops to get past censorship, and they actually did a decent job. This one, up until they started explaining what was actually happening, it was really well done. Really well done. Up until there. And then from there to there, when they got into the actual explanation of what's happening, and etc., horrendous. I'm telling you, that is the worst I've ever seen. I swear, it is the worst I've ever seen. So, just so you're warned, I would not say don't bother watching this drama, because there was actually a lot that was really well done. And Guang is very fast becoming, like, a favorite actor. I have different types of favorite actors, I have realized. I have different types. Him, I got very emotionally attached to purely because of his character in The Dashing Youth, etc. Actors that become favorite actors because I become extremely emotionally attached to specific characters they've played. Often, I'm, like, attached to them for a while, and then it kind of slowly drops off, and they're kind of, like, still a favorite actor, but not, like, one of the big, like, they are super good actors. He's a really good actor. I'm just not positive how much of that is emotion talking yet, and how much of it, like, he is a good actor. He is. I'm not denying that. But I might be overblowing it at the moment because I might still be on an emotional high. But Huang Junjie, I've also seen in several things, and he's definitely a good actor. I've seen him on several things now, and, like, the one that I watched, I'm like, he's almost too good for this because, like, you know. But anyway, now I'm getting off really into whatever. I'm not even talking about this drama anymore, so I need to stop. I need to stop rambling. I'm just trying to get all of this. I literally just finished it. I'm trying to process. This is what it looks like. What do you think? Have you ever heard of this drama? Have you ever seen this drama? Are you interested in seeing this drama? It's a journey. It's a very interesting concept. And it was very interestingly well done up until a certain point. And then it was a mess. Horrendous mess. And there's probably more I could say. I'm sure there's more I could say. Just the mess. Just don't get me started on the mess. There were so many things. I was starting to keep a list and then I went, forget it. I just have to cover the entire thing on this. Was literally a chaotic mess of confusion and nonsense. And it was disgusting. And I'm repeating myself, so that's all I'm going to say. Bye. Thanks for watching if you did watch, and feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think of all of this. The acting was very well done on basically everybody's part, and like I say, I nearly cried twice. Bye.